Do, do, do. All right, we got a few people coming in here. Got our first locals. It might be SJV. I think he watches from locals, maybe. I don't know.
SJV the GOAT.
Come on in, folks. We're just getting started, and I see that we've got a few others. We're just getting a few people into the stream before we launch the show. We'll be getting started momentarily.
Getting into X, retweeting the live, liking it. All right.
Got your cup?
Yes, sir.
And which which part are you doing in the intro, Stephen? It's I think it's your turn to do the second part.
Yep. Fantastic question. I'll do part 2.
Part 2. Okay. I got to remember part 1. All right. We're getting ready. Government IT workers by day, persuasion enthusiasts, and verbal cage fighters the rest of the time.
If you'd like to level up your persuasion game to godlike levels, grab your favorite stimulant and prepare yourself for the persuasion hit of the day. It's the Persuasion Club podcast, and it starts now. Oh, yeah.
There's the volume we needed.
There it is.
Next time I'll have to put that on my notes. Hit the little button that makes the music louder. Welcome. We'll fix that in editing. Happy June 14th to you, Stephen. Welcome.
Thanks, Kevin. And good evening. Happy Sunday.
It's funny because I'm welcoming you. You're like the co-host. Welcome to the guests. But welcome to you too, Stephen. Yes, we have a guest in the studio, and I don't want to keep him waiting any longer. So we're going to go ahead and do that now. And then we'll go ahead and get into some of our business. So please do welcome Mr. Jeff Callahan to the show.
Hello. I'm happy to be here. I got my mug.
Good evening.
Sip Scott. Yep.
My memes are coming to life.
Yes. If anybody didn't know, this is our wonderful guest, Jeff Callahan, who we were speaking of just a few, last show and the show before that. And we had a tremendous opportunity to have him on the show. And when he asked when, I was like, well, my goodness, let's not. Actually, Steven says, I don't want to wait because my baby's coming soon. So we got to get him on the show now.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming and hanging out
Yeah.
with us this evening, Jeff. This is awesome.
Yeah. It's funny. I follow you guys on X, and I've clocked a couple of times that you guys have mentioned me on the show. And the last time, I think I just randomly I was scrolling, if I'm not mistaken, and I think I saw one of my memes pop up on your show, and I was like, "What is that?" It's like reached out to you guys, and I'm glad we were able to set it up.
That's awesome.
Thank you for being here.
We'll dive into things here in a moment and get to know you a little bit more. But if you wouldn't mind, we do have a little bit of business to get to, if you are
Do it.
okay with that. All right. So diving in, a few things for us to do. What episode number is this, Stephen?
Today is episode 22.
22. We had a little talk about this the other day because we were going to do something to commemorate episode 22. And you mentioned a certain artist actually has a song out there for that, right?
Yeah, if you haven't heard of Taylor Swift, it's time to take the earplugs out and check her out. No, I'm kidding. No, she does have a song called 22, and I did kind of joke about that. That should be our theme song tonight.
Well, unfortunately, you know how it goes. Those copyright strikes wind up hitting us, so we can't do that. So
You got to watch out.
But if you remember, I did kind of make a little bet. I said I probably could somehow integrate it into the show somehow. So,
Okay.
with,
What did you
without
do,
any
Kevin?
further
What did you
ado,
do here?
man. Oh, here we go.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Having a little late.
Wow. That's some amazing imagery here.
I think Steve has sexy legs. I don't know.
The bottom half doesn't match the top half.
Wow. Yeah.
This is what happens when I'm in charge of production of the show, Stephen.
Yeah. W production. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Let's also tell people about us. This is us. We are these guys, Persuasion Club. Please follow us on those socials there if you aren't already. Tell others about us. It is rule number 1 and 2 of Persuasion Club. You talk about Persuasion Club.
Yeah, we do.
It is. It would be doing us a favor if you follow, because that way more people see us and find out about us. We would be remiss if we didn't also point out that it is Flag Day today. So happy Flag Day, everybody!
Happy Flag Day.
Yep.
Yeah,
Big one.
And we have a. You were going to say something there, Stephen?
Oh, did I lag a little bit?
No.
I was just saying happy Flag
but it's
Day.
also also the birthday of the Army. So,
Oh, wow.
I don't have any music for that one, but it is the Army's birthday. Happy birthday, Army! Also, lots of things today. It also happens to be Bourbon Day. So, if you happen to like bourbon, I used to drink. I don't. I haven't for a while now, but I used to love bourbon. It was good stuff. So.
That is good stuff. I used to work. I did some website work for a whiskey bourbon company in Oregon, not a few years ago. But yeah.
Oh. And then there's the Scott Adams reframe for you. So you could go either way on celebrating that one today if you wanted to. And then finally, it is, we've been talking about him. It is the 80th birthday of President Trump.
A day?
So we wanted to acknowledge that.
Wow.
Yeah. No kidding. 80. It's amazing.
Presidential birthday.
Yeah. But of course, it would make sense that we acknowledge him because he's been so kind to us,
I know persuasion. I know confidence. People come up to me, tears in their eyes, and they say, "Sir, where do I learn this stuff?" I tell them Persuasion Club. They've got Scott Adams level reframes, Jeff Callahan teaching confidence maxing, very important, and two hosts, Steve and Kevin, who somehow make psychology funny. Nobody does it better, believe me. I give those guys an A+, maybe an A++. Nobody gives more pluses than me.
Wow.
You know, after all that kindness, you know, I don't know what to say, Mr.
I can't believe he recorded that just for this episode.
Yeah, and
I
you know, he even looked a little younger too. I think
It's
Persuasion
amazing.
Club and the confidence maxing is de-aging him as we speak. Maybe he's got that.
Damn,
Benjamin
it's
Button
good
thing.
stuff. So, trust us, Jeff. We'll get to the good content. That would be you here very quickly soon. We have a couple more things here. Just a weekly thing now. It is the Persuader of the Week. It's
Hey.
Goose. And once again, tell us a little bit. This is Steven's cat, okay? Because nobody's been submitting their cats yet. So, you know, we got to get some people going on that. Tell us about Goose, Steven.
Hey, Goose came from a hoarding situation around the Portland area of Oregon. He was like one of, I think, near 100 cats that they confiscated from a property. And as soon as I saw him, I was like, that's the guy I need to take home. I was looking for a cat to adopt. So he's a rescue, and he's been super chill. And I think he's 7 years old now. So he's been around for a minute, and he's doing good.
It looks like an awesome cat. All right. And let's tell people real quick how they can submit their persuaders. Persuasion.club/per. All you need to do. Boom. Okay. And then we'll just do the final reminder here that people, if you will, if you're on the Rumble channel watching, you can use the new Scott emote icon there. Just look for that in the chat. It'll look something along the lines of that in the chat. So, yeah, our own custom Scott. So, all right. We're going to get to some confidence. We lost
Jeff. Disappeared.
Oh,
I'm
is he
here.
not in?
I'm here.
We need to add him back.
Screen,
Let's add him back into this.
Yeah,
there we go. Boom. Okay. You know, it is Rumble Studio, so if we don't do something that involves Rumble Studio failing in our podcast at a point in time, then that's how it goes. All right, Jeff. So I've thrown up the graphic here. This is you. Tell us all about yourself. Welcome to the show.
Yeah. So for people that don't immediately know me, my name is Jeff Callahan, and I am the author of Confidence Maxing, which is a book that is sweeping the nation, as I say. And reviewers have likened it to the new How to Win Friends and Influence People. People are calling it the Atomic Habits for People Skills, and many other complimentary things on Amazon. And my backstory is throughout most of my life up to a certain point, I was painfully shy, had a speech impediment so bad I couldn't say my own name, which, as you might imagine, made connecting with people a little bit more difficult than it needed to be. Made we'll call it the availability of confidence near zero. And so at a certain point, you know, this was through middle school, high school, even some of college, I realized, hey, I don't want to live the rest of my life like that. I'm planning on living a long time. I would like to get up near that 80-year mark that the president is celebrating today. And so went on a self-development binge, and lo and behold, I started to find out, look, I'm not the only person who has struggled with social confidence and people skills. Apparently, a lot of people do. The only thing is that they typically don't talk about it, but they talk about it to me. And that's how I know it's a big, big issue. And over the last 10 years, well, 12 years actually, I've been running my company Become More Compelling, which I coach people, I think startup founders, many major leading companies, primarily STEM, and I coach people to have more social confidence, have better people skills, so that they can live the kind of life that they want. Sometimes that's career oriented, and sometimes that's just their personal life. And the book is kind of like a zip file of my brain that you can listen to or you can read and learn all the knowledge that took me 20 years to learn. So that's the back of the cereal box for me.
That's the elevator pitch, and it's a good one. I'm inspired just listening to you. Stephen and I both received the audio copy. Thank you.
Yeah.
I also ran out and I ran out to Amazon.com and got my copy there, and it arrived yesterday. So
Nice.
I'm
It's a
already
good looking book.
it is very, very nice. And I'm listening already. I listened to the intro, and then I went forward and looked at the 20 things that you were talking about. So I'm going to kind of turn things over to you. And well, first of all, maybe we can actually ask you a few back and forth questions before we
Yeah.
get into your teaching here, because I don't want to miss out on that part. If Steven wants to jump in with a question, that's great, or I can, either way.
I do have a question. I don't know how far ahead this is going to jump of anything you plan to share, but when it comes to getting the confidence to even teach people about confidence, how did you run into that first time where you coached someone through it? Was that pretty organic, or how did that work? Hopefully that's not too loaded of
Yeah.
a question.
Yeah. That's a good question. So, I'm thinking back to, some of my very, very first clients. And, I guess where it started was, I knew for a long time that I wanted to be some sort of entrepreneur, right? I remember reading the 4 Hour Work Week back in probably 2007. And there was just one little, I think it was literally a paragraph in there talking about how you could build a business around information. Like, something, how to do something that someone else might want to learn how to know and do. And I remember reading that, and I remember thinking, wow, that's possible. Like, it didn't even occur to me that that was possible. I thought if you're going to have your own business, you have a brick and mortar business, you sell some kind of good, right? And so that kind of blew my mind just reading that. And so I started thinking, well, what am I what am I good at? What am I able to teach? And there were several things that were good possibilities, but one of the things was, well, I overcame this sort of lack of confidence, if you will, and I started just getting curious and thinking like, well, if I solved it, there are probably other people that would like it solved as well, and that was kind of the hypothesis. And then I started sort of poking around in forums in the internet, and turns out a lot of people want help with this. They just aren't all that public about it, and then when I started getting my first few clients, it was, at that point I didn't really have much of a system. I knew kind of large tent poles of like what needed to be done, but the I would say the system came later. In the beginning, it was just a lot of asking clients questions like what do you need help with? Oh, well, there's this situation and that situation and this and that, and then thinking of solutions on the fly. It's funny. My buddy and I send reels back and forth to each other, and there's one that we always end up sending when it's two panels. One panel is someone overthinking something, and then the next panel is a like a think a Top Gun Maverick, like a jet pilot, and he's reading a manual that says how to become a pilot. And so you have to, if you want to do something, like, you can just do things, right? And so part of it is you want to be competent at what you're doing, but you have to start. And the more overthinking and over optimizing you do, the um, the less good outcome you're probably going to get, because you're going to get stalled out. And so I remember back, 12 years ago, those first clients was very much a work in progress. And, I was able to help them in a profound way. But a lot of those first sort of cohorts of clients were simply asking them what they needed help with and finding a way to help them.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's
awesome.
exciting. Yeah.
It's to me, you've got that zero to hero success story going on there, Jeff. So that's a really neat thing because it'd almost be kind of cool. I don't know if you have any videos or things from before and after kind of stuff, but it might even become a little weird now to go back and watch like things. But tell us a little bit about how the stutter thing worked and how you overcame that.
Yeah. So what's funny is if you listen closely, you'll see that I still hesitate over some words, but I'd say it's about 98% gone. And it's funny. I'm always reminded of when Scott Adams, our mutual friend, uh, when he had his spasmodic dysphonia and like how limiting that was for him, and I could really identify with that quite a bit, just from the standpoint of not being able to communicate what you want to communicate. And I would, there are probably easier ways to go about curbing something like that. I opted for the brute force technique, where I just put myself in a lot of situations where I knew I would have to be social. I got a job in retail sales, you know, gosh, 2005, maybe a long time ago now. And, over the last 20 years, I estimate conservatively, because at a certain point I stopped counting. I used a little math to help me with this, but I estimate I had probably close to 100,000 conversations, if not more, because I just stopped counting at some point. Because it's like, okay, we get it.
Right, yeah.
It's
kind of like watching Strange Brew. After 300 or 400 times, you just stop counting.
Yeah, and part of that was my hunch is that the speech impediment was largely attributed to, I would just say, nerves in social situations. I guess that's my read on it. Probably someone with a better background would explain something a little bit more scientific. But for me, I noticed that, hey, yeah, I want to get over this, and by God, I'm going to get over it. And so I'm going to put myself in a lot of interactions to brute force my way through it. So maybe not the most efficient way to do it, but I would say it worked, because now at this point in my life, I'm 39. Sometimes you forget how old you are too. Um, there is just not a social situation that stresses me out in the least. Um, just I think part of that is you grow, and as you get older as a person, you start to realize the stakes are relatively low in
Yeah.
almost every interaction. But the neat thing for my clients is, I work with all ages, but the average age of my clients are around 31 years old.
Okay.
And for someone who, and I do work occasionally with people even a little younger than that. So I think about that person who's, in their like mid 20s, mid to late 20s. Like, if they get to learn the kind of things that I can teach them, they've got a longer time horizon to execute on it. And man, that's a huge advantage. Like, learning any skill as early as you possibly can learn it, because that really sets them up for success for the long haul.
Absolutely. Speaking of that embarrassment part there, I remember that one of the things that Scott Adams would say is that in order to get over the embarrassment, just go out and embarrass yourself. Just keep doing it until you just don't become embarrassed anymore. So,
yeah, and there's just wonderful kind of immunity that you get when whatever you're trying to do, if you can do something in relative public. I say relative public. I think a live stream would fall in that category, right? I started a live show in the mornings, Confidence Maxing Live, and I wanted to build that skill set, because I'm always kind of looking for any last scraps of potential embarrassment, and I want to find those scraps and hammer them out, so that I'm immune. And I think what comes with that too is, if you own your own company, and like, there's no one on earth that I answer to, outside of the people that are really important to me, like my really close friends or my wife, and people I really care about, right? But that also gives you kind of a wonderful immunity to the opinions of others, which is nice.
Right. I like it. I like it. So Jeff, we had talked a little bit before the show over email and stuff, and we thought that if you had anything that had in particular that you would like to share with us this evening, that you could go ahead and just have at it for about 20 minutes. Do you want to jump in?
Yeah, so there are a lot of different options on the table for us, and one I think it would probably be helpful to cover just kind of the broad strokes of one of the first chapters, which is competence maxing, not confidence maxing, competence maxing, because
Okay.
one one of the like the preconceived notions that people have when they hear the word confidence is like, oh, you just have to be confident. And it's like, okay, well, yes, that's true, but what's the mechanism behind becoming more confident? Um, because what's funny is, yes, my book is about people skills and communication skills. That's where I hang my hat. But I've had people message me and say that they're like losing weight with my book, and
Oh.
like just building any kind of skill. Like I've had clients become better at golf, like using some of the stuff, and the reality
Okay.
is it's the feeling like if the end state is I want to be more confident at the skill that I'm building, well, I need to know the roadmap to get to that confidence. And so uh, when it comes to communication skills, a lot of times what people are doing is they are sort of running a mental loop in their head of um, like they're showing themselves frequent proof of their incompetence. And we do this in a few different ways. A really common way is simply you remember an awkward moment from years ago, or you really don't want an awkward moment to happen, so you're kind of trying to avoid it as much as you can, and sometimes that can actually cause an awkward moment. And all of that is just doing one thing. It's uh, reinforcing your own perceived level of incompetence. You're not going to become confident with that loop running. It's not going to happen. So one of the big things that I talk about with my clients is one of the first things to talk about, and I talk about it in the book too, is and I'm cheating by reading a little bit of my book too, even though I wrote it. Sometimes I need a little refresher myself. Uh, there is no confidence without competence, right? Competence is built through consistent action. Consistent action creates automatic improvement. And confidence is simply the ability to predict the outcome of your actions with a high degree of accuracy. Accuracy only comes from a high number of reps. And the final point here that I'll pause is show your mind frequent proof of your own competence, and soon you'll believe the proof. And so, one of the most important things you can do, it really doesn't matter what skill. Um, I just happen to have a deep love for communication and helping people in that arena, but this would apply to something more technical, like if you're starting to get into vibe coding and you want to show yourself frequent proof of your competence. Guess what you have to do? You have to record instances of you being successful at what you're trying to do. The form that this takes with clients is I'll have them write down social wins. Sounds pretty easy. um, the number one sort of feedback that I get is clients will and I'll stress this to them, like, even something small counts. Saying hi to your doorman counts. Nodding at
Okay.
someone walking the dog, that you've seen a few
Mhm.
times, like that counts, especially in
Saying
the
hi to
beginning.
somebody in the elevator on the way up and wishing them
Yes,
a good day. Sure.
it all counts because the what we need to do is build a solid track record of evidence that we can be successful in whatever skill it is. Right? You can apply this to other skills. Um, and So a lot of times clients will come back to me and they won't count something because they thought it was too easy. And I'm like, no, no, I want you to count that and write it down. Actually, why do we write it down? Because we need to be able to review that social win later. Once a week,
Okay.
we need to be able to thumb through our
So
social
keeping a
wins.
journal, keeping
Yeah,
track, and then referring back
exactly.
and looking at those. Yeah. Okay.
Because it's very easy. There's this baked in. It's a It's a wonderful little feature of the human psyche called the negativity bias. I'm sure you guys are probably familiar with this, where we tend to place a lot more importance on negative things that happen, including wishing them not to happen in the future, than we might place any sort of stickiness around positive things that happen. And it, on a certain level, it makes sense, right? Because our cavemen great grandfathers, when they were doing their podcast around the campfire, if they heard a rustling in the bushes, they would think, oh, okay, no, that's really bad. We need to get out of here. They didn't care that it may have been a bunny, you know.
Hmm.
They were like, okay, maybe let's rejoin the others, right? Um, and so Rick Hansen, PhD, has some really good writing on this, but he says that positive experiences are like Teflon, and negative experiences are like Velcro. And so we have to work extra hard to capture and remember those positive experiences, because the way our brains are wired, there's going to be no trouble with us remembering those negative experiences or those feelings of incompetence. But we have to work really hard to remember the positive things. And I'll bring up one more point, and then I'll throw it to you guys for reaction. Um, Another really closely related part of that is, say that you have an interaction that goes like 95% well, like it's really good. It's like mostly fantastic. But there's like 5% that maybe something could have gone a little different. You could have told that joke in a different way, or you went for a handshake, but you ended up getting caught between like a fist bump and a handshake, and you didn't know what to do. And so what do? You might have a knee jerk reaction to wad up the entire 100%, including the 95% that was great, and then you toss it in the failure bucket. Uh, and you don't need to do that, because you're discounting a mostly good interaction that could serve as great proof in the future
Yeah.
that yes, you are competent. So that was a lot. I'll throw it back to you guys. Any thoughts, questions, or reaction?
Let Stephen have a chance at it first.
So going back to when you were talking about, people tend to focus on the times they mess up. Right before that, at the end of your first chapter as well, you were talking about the difference between wanting and deciding.
Mm,
And I feel like that kind of hit hard too, and relates to some of the stuff that you're talking about with the competence maxing as well. Just of wanting is like daydreaming, and when you decide you're going to do something, that takes your commitment level to an area where you basically can't avoid it, or you don't want to avoid it anymore, because you're deciding that you're going to do that. And
mhm.
so uh, the negativity bias that kind of comes not far after that is talking about it can be a protection mechanism, like you were saying, for the cavemen, like,
Mhm.
let's get out of here and join the others. But uh, for this topic, um, negativity bias can stop you from feeling competence. And I don't know if you feel this way, but uh, the competency it is a big part of feeling confident. And you had talked in your book about people that were really competent at something but hadn't practiced the confidence part. Does that uh was that right, or am I misquoting you on that within the
Yeah,
book?
so that I don't remember writing that specifically, but what I will say is, and actually I wonder what we can do is, I want to share I think this will be fun. I've got it on my X, and what I'll do, uh, I'll DM it to you real quick,
Okay.
because it's a nice little graphic. I will find. I've got it right here.
Well, let's see if I can do this live.
So let's see. I'll send it to you via DM right now, and we'll see if this works. And because I think you bring up a really good point, Stephen, where uh, there's something I didn't write about this in the book, because I came up with this after the book, called the confidence roller coaster, where there are different levels of confidence and competence, and what that actually means for um, your journey to become a more confident version of yourself. And so we'll see if we can pull that up. But what I like about it, if you have high high confidence but low competence, that's the Dunning-Kruger zone. Where we've all met people that have really high confidence, but their confidence is low, and if we're being real honest, they shouldn't talk a lot about it because it's not good. Um, the next stage is you have higher competence but lower confidence. And that's imposter syndrome, right? Where you're more capable than you think. And then the third stage is sort of what I call helpful overconfidence, where I did a story on my live show. Yeah, perfect. Uh, and so I did a story on my live show of if your if your confidence is just slightly higher than your competence, not done in Kruger zone, but just a little bit higher, that actually increased the performance of people doing some sort of task. I can't remember the exact study. Um, but it got me thinking of, like, that's actually the ideal zone is high competence and maybe just a little bit higher confidence that we have. Well, kind of what I call this is we have faith in our ability, where if putting this in communication terms, if you have 1,000 interactions, you start to you start to recognize patterns, and you start to recognize just the general. I think about it kind of like the angle of what most outcomes are going to be. They're going to be uh, almost all in this range. Sure, there could be an outlier here or there, but just probably not. Right? The statistics just aren't supportive of that, and so you end up developing a real faith in your ability. And what's nice about that is you're thinking less in the interaction, and you have a lot more faith in your ability, and so even things that would have tripped someone up if they were less confident because they had less competence, it's not going to trip you up because it's just going to what would be like a massive speed bump to someone is going to feel like a pebble to you because you have a lot of faith in your ability. So any thoughts or reactions there?
Kevin?
I would say that the repetition and keeping at it is definitely key. Like I notice in myself that the first time at something I'm going to suck, and the next time I'm going to suck a little bit less, but pretty much
Yeah.
still suck. And then after a number of times, I'm going to not suck so much at that thing. And I like in your book you point out, you kind of alluded to it too, that you got to take these things one at a time. So if you're trying to pick like a bunch of things to work on and you're confident all at once, then it's going to be a little bit tougher than if you just pick the one thing. So I like the roller coaster illustration. That makes sense to me. I see the value in taking it in that stride. So yeah.
Yeah, and the one point I'll bring up there, because you bring up something really important, is the more often I do something, the easier it gets. And that's generally true. And what I talk about in the book is something called effort gravity. In chapter, it's a joke on my live stream that, like, anytime I reference a chapter, I don't know what chapter the thing is, because I'm always off by one. Like I'm always
Yeah.
off by one. But it is in chapter 7. See, I was going to say a different chapter. In chapter 7, there's what I call jumping the motivation gap. And so, what most self help type books just don't bother to cover is, what do you do when you're trying to improve something but motivation wanes? To me, that's like the most important thing, because if you don't cover that, my goodness, like, nothing else matters. And so, one of the concepts I talk about in that chapter is effort gravity. Simply put, the more often you do something, the easier it gets. And so, what that means is, if you're learning anything new, understand that it's probably about as hard as it's going to be the first time you do it. That's roughly true. Um, I think about when I started going to the gym and started to work out. Not only did I have to, like, go to the gym to learn all the lifts because I didn't know how to do the lifts. I needed to execute the lifts correctly. And I was trying to gain muscle, so I had to like stick to my diet plan. There's all these new behaviors, and in the beginning it was tough, but 6 months later, 8 months later, I wasn't even thinking about it because it was just automatic, right? And so anything you can do to just, and I think it's really helpful for people to understand because I feel like a lot of people don't understand where they'll think, oh, it's always gonna be this hard because like a straight line, sort of a fallacy, right? Instead of thinking, hey, it's gonna get easier every single time I do it. So why not keep doing it?
Kevin, you might be muted.
We got some dramatic silence there.
I see red under your picture. Uh, looks like it hard muted in Rumble. If you take too long, I'll jump in because I do have a comment and a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, Steve.
There.
Now, but I don't know what muted me. Something did, but since you have another question, take it.
Oh, we were just going back. I've been thinking this whole time. I've just been like silent, but the competence with the confidence, the roller coaster that you had, the imposter syndrome. I've always been someone that's been doing stuff, and I'm always a little bit less educated or certified than the people surrounding me. So that's always kind of led to, do I have the competence to do this? But I have confidence in myself to learn something new and to jump in and kind of be fearless and dive in head first. But I don't always understand or feel confident about the certification or education I have. And something that I've learned from doing that over and over again is usually certification and education helps people get somewhere quicker, uh, but having the skill and the repetition and doing things over and over again and taking those chances and taking opportunities usually gets me to where I want to be quicker. And it's more of like you're saying, like don't let the bad experience stray you because it's not always going to be that way of doing something over and over. Like you said, working out at the gym. Uh, yeah. If and when I do take a year or two off of lifting weights, like that first week is terrible. It's like, oh man, I can barely like sit down on the couch without feeling so much pain. So there is I do like that you, uh, like, continue to repeat the repetition. You can just do things. Like, you can do things, and there's nothing stopping you really from just doing something and creating that opportunity. It's all around you. It's more of the fear that you have that's gonna hold you back. So
Yeah,
that did speak a lot to me.
yeah, my favorite meme that has become more popular. People are using it a lot more. Is I'll call him the simple person and the hooded figure, and then the over optimizer in the middle, where I I guess maybe the actual title for it is like the midwit bell curve, something like that, where uh, usually it's you can just do things on one side, you can just do things on the other side, and in the middle is like I need to do these 7 things and I need to wait for the right time, and it's all this stuff, right? And my only goal in life is to be on either of the other sides. I don't care. Like it might be the simple side. I'm fine with that. you know, like I just want to be and and most of what I talk about with clients, actually, the people that I try to help are people who are overthinkers that tend to just overanalyze, overthink, and sometimes over optimize a lot of different areas of their lives when really what they need is to paradoxically they need to set up a system where they think less in interactions, thinking less, especially thinking less about yourself in an interaction is gonna make it way better. One of the worst things, and probably listeners will catch themselves in this. If you do, that's fine. um, if you've ever caught yourself giving yourself a sort of a report card or grades of how an interaction is going while you're in the interaction, guess what? You're going to have a real bad time. And so you just don't need to do it. Um, what's much better is really externalizing, right? And thinking, well, how can I be a good listener? How can I focus on asking questions from the other person and getting to know them a little bit better. That's going to set the right frame, which is much better than just thinking like, oh, I wonder what they think about me or whatever. Like, no, you're going to have a terrible time. The joke I use with my clients is simply that everyone who's giving themselves a evaluation in an interaction, no one's thinking to themselves, I'm doing so great. My goodness. They're just not thinking that. They're thinking like, oh, you're so stupid, or the inner jerk that I talk about in the book is showing up and whispering things to them that they would never allow anyone else to whisper to them. And it can be a real problem.
Yeah. That inner critic is definitely alive inside of me. It constantly nags at me, and I've had an easier time over the years as I just kind of start to just say, "Go away," get out of here. Because the thing for me is, I keep thinking that other people are thinking about my interactions with them all the time. It's me that's thinking about them all the time. The other person's moved on. They're
Yep.
they're done, and so going back and correcting the interaction, that's not the right idea, because you're only going to make it worse if you try to correct it and say, "Oh, I didn't really mean that," or whatever, that might have sounded weird. I did, don't try to correct it. Just make sure the next interaction's better.
Mhm.
But that's kind of the thing, is that people move on so quickly and they forget so quickly, and they're also so self-absorbed anyway that they're not thinking about you.
Nope.
Sorry, they're just not, so
And yeah, a
that's
couple
that.
of points on that actually is one is I've asked this question to every client. Can you tell me about a time when you observed someone being awkward, and can you describe it to me in detail? And guess what? Only once have I ever had anyone be able to even answer it. Everyone else
Yeah.
is like, I don't know. To the one person that had something, I asked them, well, what did you think about that person? What did you feel? And they're like, well, I really just felt empathy, because I was like, anyone could push the door when it's really a pull. It could have happened to me. Like, it could have happened to anyone, right? So that's point one. Point two is, um, can I walk you through the movie poster reframe? Yeah. So
Yeah.
the I don't I'm almost certain this is not in the book. So this is a Persuasion
Okay.
Club exclusive. Particular
Awesome.
movie. So I call it the movie poster reframe, and it goes like this: picture yourself walking past uh, wall at the front of a movie theater. You've got all these different movie posters, and the first one you come across is your movie poster, right? And in the style of a lot of movie posters, it's got the floating heads and maybe a little bit of action in there, whatever it is. Guess who the biggest head is on the movie poster? It's you, because it's your movie, right? Now, if you have a spouse or a significant other, they might be on there too, probably a little smaller head, right? Your buddies might be towards the bottom. Maybe even a coworker or two might even be on there. There might be some names at the bottom. People that that aren't super close, but they're there. Um, so that's your movie poster. You walk a little further and say it's your significant other's movie poster. Well, now the biggest head is that person. Your head is now a little smaller, and all of their friends and maybe some of your mutual friends are on there too, and there are different names at the bottom. Okay, well, you walk a little further, you get to a really good friend's movie poster. You look at the biggest head. Well, it's your friend. The second biggest head, it's their spouse. Their kids are at the bottom. You might be on there, maybe, but you might be one of the names at the bottom. And then you go a little further and you just happen upon someone that you've met, but you're not close to or anything like that. You scan all over it. You're not on that movie poster. And you're not on most people's movie posters. And this is good news actually, because most people aren't on your movie poster either. And so I like that, because it kind of reminds me that we are the most important person in our own movie, and everyone is that way to varying degrees. And it's freeing, because if I do mess up, which if you have more interactions, your total number of awkward moments is probably going to increase, but your percentage of awkward moments is going to decrease because your skills get better. So this is a very freeing thing because it frees you up to try, and it frees you up from the expectations of others and the opinions of others. So any any thoughts? How do you guys like the Persuasion Club exclusive there?
I think it's
I like it a
excellent.
lot.
I might actually have to use that one in a clip video if you wouldn't mind, Jeff.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah, perfect. We do that all the time. We're always thinking about what other people are thinking of us, and the movies that they're watching are completely different movies than we're even watching. So it makes perfect sense. Hey, well, we have a little bit of time left here, and I thought maybe we would try to play a little bit of our game, if you wouldn't mind playing along with us, Jeff.
Let's do it.
Yeah,
Hey,
Stephen, I'm
hey,
going to give you control here in a minute, but I'll start us off. Let me go
okay.
ahead and flip us over here to the screen. Oops, come on. You know you want to. Do you have the link to control the game there?
Yes, I do.
You
I've got
do.
it up and running.
Uh, well,
Do you? Oh, screen went black, but I
when
have the game pulled up.
Yeah, let me see if I can get it to go here. It's not behaving for me at the moment. Strangely,
It'll get there.
it might not get there.
If it won't get there,
I'm
I still have questions for Jeff. So if
Yeah,
we
we
can't
can
run
we
the
can do an
game,
audio only version of the game.
yeah,
Who wants to be a
the
blindfolded
audio
millionaire?
only. Yeah, who wants to be blindfolded? Why don't you go ahead and ask your question, and I'll get it working here, Stephen, because I can do that while you're talking with Jeff. So let me go back to this other
yeah. Now,
screen here, one of these, and you can ask your question.
yeah. When it comes to encouraging someone to continue trying things that they may be having a bad experience at, is there, and not to dive too deep into, getting some free coaching that you may usually not get for
You
free,
know what? Dive
but
in. It's cool.
yeah,
Dive in.
yeah, because for me, I usually operate with the fact that as long as my intentions are good, I can pretty much do anything guilt free because I really mean the best. But and that's helped me through a lot of failures because I do experience failure, but I've always kind of been a person that believes in like the fail forward kind of for the most part mentality. But what is something core that you encourage people who do continue to fail and maybe aren't seeing the improvement as quickly as the lack of improvement is also discouraging. So is there something that you usually kind of give to people that are experiencing that?
Well, I would actually take a step back and think about it in terms of are you playing a game that you can win consistently, like ideally that you can win every single day. That's a much better game to play than a game in which you only feel like you win at some point in the future because you've achieved X, Y, and Z, right? Um, I think I may give this example in the book where, like, say your goal is to make a friend. It's like, okay, well, that's a good goal. That's a fine goal. But here's the thing: you will be in a losing state until you actually make that friend. If you're having conversations every single day, you're going to feel like you're in a winning state. And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I think actually one of the items on the 20 lessons that took me 20 years to learn ah has the perfect thing. Number 17. I'll read this to you. Focusing on outcomes keeps you stuck in a losing state because you only win when you get the result. Focusing on effort keeps you in a winning state because you win every time you put in effort. And so I think about that a lot in terms of um, whenever you're improving something, is it likely that at some point along the line you might encounter some sort of plateau? Yeah, I mean that's absolutely possible. Um, if I've set up the system correctly, then every day I'm taking an action that I can be proud of, that I like, that makes me feel good. And if I string enough of those together, in my opinion at least, you may not even notice the plateaus, even though they may happen, because you're focusing on something a little bit smaller than what is my overall trajectory. What's my overall trajectory? It's more of, hey, I know I'm doing something every single day that is sort of upstream from the result that I want. And then over time, the result will take care of itself. But the difference, and I'll get your opinion on this, the difference is you'll feel like you're winning the entire time instead of only feeling like you're winning once at the end. Any comment or feedback there?
I like it. I feel like you said, focusing on outcomes keeps you stuck. Focusing on the effort it keeps you winning. Uh, I do like that a lot. I feel like the fact that people give up on things is sometimes really sad to see. Not sometimes, most times it's really hard to see people give up on something that they had a bad experience or a slightly bad experience, when it's like you could just keep trying and eventually like you will overcome that, or you will get to where I think you should be or you want to be. That totally resonates. I really like that a lot. So that's a good lesson.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Looks like
All
we got
right.
it
Well, as
up.
you can see, we've got the
Hey,
screen working here. So we'll
okay.
go ahead and pretend like we're running a game show here. And so,
Always wanted to
Jeff,
be on
you
a
can
game show.
actually be the host if you want and ask the questions. And Stephen and I have fun actually trying to answer them. So
All
we
right.
don't have the answers in front of us. We don't know. So let's just
It,
see what the system gives us. It may work, it may not.
hey, all right.
Okay. So the scenario is you walk into a meeting and your brain starts narrating your every flaw. Which roadmap lesson applies first?
So we have
Okay,
leave immediately to protect
go
your
ahead and read
brand.
those if you want, Stephen.
Yeah.
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 Memorize a monologue in the bathroom. C, wait until you feel zero anxiety. Or D, shift attention outward. The room has cues if you look.
Hmm.
Oh my goodness. Um, well, I think that C is not a good answer. B is not a good answer. Um,
Leaving immediately
A
to
is
protect your
not a good
brand.
answer.
You got to protect your brand, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
uh, one
So,
second. I'll be right back. One sec.
Okay.
You're on
So
you're on the
I'm
hot
going
seat.
to think, shifting attention outward. Yeah. He just left. How could you do that
Maybe he's phoning a friend. You don't
during a
know.
show, man? You don't do that on Millionaire.
Nope. Nope.
Sorry,
Sorry.
Regis. Just lit,
The door knocked and I had to
yeah, phoning
disappear.
a friend,
Sorry about that. Yeah.
asking that's what he's doing. That's all right,
So
Steven.
All right, I need your final
We're just
answers.
laughing. We're giving you a bad
I,
time.
I'm thinking. I'm
I don't
thinking
know.
D. Is that what you're thinking, Kevin?
That is correct.
I am thinking D.
All right.
All right.
Nice.
All
Yay.
right.
Okay.
Next question. Why do interactions improve when attention is focused outward rather than inward? A, inward focus makes you telepathic. B, outward focus means never preparing. C, inward focus is always superior. D, you pick up cues, topics, and energy instead of grading yourself.
All right. Uh, outward focus means never preparing. I'm not. I, I'm not sure about that.
Steven,
Oh,
let's talk this through.
am I glitching?
He looks
Can you
like a
hear me, Kevin?
possible answer in the sense that, what? You're not, I can hear you.
Okay.
Can you hear
Good.
me?
Yes.
Now I
I think
can.
there was some lag there.
Okay, now I can. Yeah. Okay. So I'm saying that telepathy is kind of like not an option. So A is not an option. How does that work for you, Stephen?
Yeah, I don't believe it. No,
No.
telepathic is not going to work.
Yeah. Okay. Just making sure.
Yeah.
B, outward focus means never preparing. I think that's if you do have an outward focus, then you probably might be that. That could be a potential choice. Um, why do interactions improve when attention is focused outward rather than inward? No, I don't like that. Inward focus is
So
always superior.
we
D.
we were talking earlier about being inside of your head during an interaction is really bad because no one's ever sitting there thinking how good you're doing. So rather than focusing on the inside of what you're thinking, I'm feeling D because you're picking up on what's going on in the conversation rather than spending all the time thinking about how bad you're doing. That's kind of where I'm
Boom.
leaning.
Let's do it.
All right, you lock it
Okay.
in, and that is correct.
Lock it in. All right.
Awesome.
Good.
All right, next.
Right.
Which is an example of internal focus during a conversation? A, did I sound weird just now? B, what follow up fits what he just said? C, what is she enthusiastic about? D, what detail in the room could I talk about? Again, the question is, what is an example of internal focus during a conversation?
All right.
I
know the
have,
answer, but do you know the answer?
I know immediately the A just was like, oh yeah, for sure. So in my head, I was just thinking A for sure. What do you think, Kevin?
I'm thinking A. Yeah, that's
Lock it in.
Yeah, lock it in. Let's do it.
That is correct.
Yes, awesome.
Right.
Hey, we're nailing
How
this.
much money are we up to now, Stephen? Let's see how much money we've made so far in this game.
I advanced too
Oh,
quickly.
we'll
I can't
catch it in
show
the
the
next
ladder.
one.
I'll do it next.
Yeah.
I'll do it next.
Next
Yeah.
question. Why
right.
is being genuinely interested in others often more valuable than trying to be interesting? A, being interesting means talking only about yourself. B, interest only works on extroverts. C, interest is passive and requires no skill. D, people feel seen, which builds connection faster than performing.
I'd say D.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I agree with D in my cousin. In my head, A, being interesting means talking only about yourself. I'm like, I don't know if I, excuse me, agree with that sentence, and I was getting stuck on it. So,
Yeah.
but I do think that D seems to make the most sense when we're talking
For
about.
for being genuinely interested. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Are you
D,
good with that?
lock it in.
Let's see what happens.
That is correct.
All right. Okay, let's look at the ladder before we go too far.
Yeah, and I need to be kind to our guest here. Do you have time for this, Jeff, or do you need to get going?
I got time.
Okay, cool. All right. Let's go ahead and get that next question then.
We're on question 5.
Persuasion Club trap. You try to dazzle the room with clever monologues. Jeff's roadmap would say, A, talk louder until applause happens. I like that one. That's pretty good. B, prepare 17 TED Talks in advance. C, never let anyone else speak. Or D, ask better questions and get interested. Dazzle is optional.
This one's kind of an easy one. I think we're gonna I would choose D. Yeah. What about you, Stephen?
Feeling D? I'm feeling D. I don't agree with any of the others.
You're feeling D, yeah.
Let's lock it in. That is correct.
Green. Woohoo. Okay.
All right.
Okay. Hey, this is good. This is good.
All right, next. What does it mean that you only control 50% of a conversation?
Oh, I know this one. I just listened to it like 2 hours ago.
You should control 100% by dominating. B, conversations are entirely random. C, you own your words and energy, the other person owns theirs. Or D, you control every outcome if you try hard enough.
Oh, D actually is kind of a good answer. I don't know if
If
I would
only it were
choose that or
true.
not, but it seems like a good
Yeah,
answer.
if only.
And
Yeah.
A is looking pretty good too. But I'm gonna, Stephen, I need to give you a chance. Let's hear your answer here.
I'm going with C because you only own your own words and the other person owns theirs. That's how I approach a lot of conversations, or like even like if you had a partner in school that you're working with and the two of you own part of an essay or something, it's like, yeah, I can only own my contribution.
Yep.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's finally
Lock it
answer
in.
that bad boy.
All right.
Yeah.
That is correct.
Locking it in.
All right.
There we go.
Now, well, I was going to make some kind of a comment along the, but now I already forgot what it was. Go ahead and continue.
How
I'm just
can
clicking
accepting the 50% rule improve conversations? A, it reduces over control and frees you to contribute your half well. B, it proves preparation is useless. C, it requires scripts for both halves. D, it means you should blame the other person for everything.
Yeah, it's perfect. That's what you should do. So what I was going to say, and it kind of really goes along with this, is that in my opinion, and if you know that you only control 50% of the conversation, then that means you have to make your 50% count. So let's see. It reduces over control, frees you to contribute to your half well. That sounds good.
Yeah.
Um,
I like that.
and I'm going to say that's probably it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Let's lock it in.
All right. Let's do it. And then one sec, I think my side of the world is lagging here. I think this the game is making my whole
Oh, is the
world
game
feel like it's
control getting a little
crashing.
slow?
Yeah, I think
Oh,
I'm about
yeah,
5
that's
seconds behind you
about it.
guys. I'm sorry.
If you need
But
to, you can refresh the browser, and it helps you a little bit too. But don't refresh your
but I
stream.
can't.
Yeah. Okay, go
Yeah.
ahead.
But I'm gonna
Go
reveal
for it.
it says that we're right there. So woohoo.
Yeah.
Now, I'll read the next question maybe, and I'll let Jeff and Kevin do the
Okay.
answering. So I'll do all the narration for this next one, and then I can just not
Okay.
talk because I think I'm way behind. Okay, so how can treating someone like a friend help create friendship? We have A, it removes the need for follow up. B, warmth and familiarity signal that closeness is possible. C, it means oversharing secrets on day one always. And D, it guarantees that they will never reject you.
As the author, I have hidden insight and superpowers, and so I'm gonna let Kevin give his option, and then
Oh man.
I'll chime in.
Okay. Well, and I see that we're at question 8. So, and I feel like I know the answer, but let's make sure that on the next one that we use some of those lifelines to get the audience interaction if we can. How can treating someone like a friend help create friendship? I don't think it's A, because removing the need for follow up doesn't seem like something that you would do with a friend. B, warmth and familiarity signal that closeness is possible. That seems kind of nice, and I would probably say that that would be a good contender. C, it means oversharing secrets on day one always. Ain't gonna do that. And D, it guarantees they will never reject you. Well, nothing is ever a guarantee. So B is my final answer.
I like it. I concur.
All right. And then maybe, after it lets me click these things, I can go back to helping converse the answers here. But that does, I mean, if the author says it's correct, I think we're turning green here. There we go.
We are. There it is.
Oh my gosh. My computer is like,
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening, but I'm being harvested.
Hang
Something as
on just a
Bitcoin
second here,
mining on
Stephen, and
my
see if I
build
could
here.
Hang on a second here and see if I can take over control of the game. Oh shit! It's
Oh, we only have 2
wanting me to
questions left,
log
so I
in.
think I
Okay.
can make it.
You want to see if we
I'm
can
just
just make
gonna
it through? Let's power through. All right.
Yeah, I'll try not to
Let's
talk over
power
you too
through it.
much.
Okay. But we're gonna use those lifelines, by golly. Go ahead.
Okay, I'll let Jeff, if you wanna go ahead and read, I'll join
Okay.
back on trying to answer.
What is a risk of treating someone like a friend too quickly? A, you may misread readiness and move faster than they want. B, you will definitely become best friends instantly. C, there are no risks, only rewards. Or D, friendship becomes legally binding.
Well, that'd be crazy.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and ask the audience on this one, then, shall we?
Hey, that is a good one. I will arm the poll for 90 seconds. We have a website you can go to, vote.persuasion.club. You can put in your vote, and but you have to visit that site on a new window if you go away from this current one. And I'll start the countdown now. For those of you listening, vote.persuasion.club. Let's see how many people are going to give us their input.
We might get in trouble for using this music. But, we'll fix
Anyone can vote, but not everyone can use this music. We'll see. We found that using a little bit more time lets people load the website and get their vote in. So hopefully that's happening.
it. We got one vote.
Great. Yes. Well, I guess I'm way behind. 20 more seconds left.
It's about right. You're not that far behind.
Yeah.
Okay, we're almost there. We're going to see the results here. Hey,
All right.
we got a vote for D.
Friendship becomes legally binding.
Ooh, someone.
100% of the audience thinks that, according to the votes.
Interesting.
Yeah, right. They must be right. What did Scott say about the 25%? I'm wondering if that might be a 25%er. No, we're not going with that one. I'm sorry.
But I
Steven,
do
you have
feel
an
like
answer?
A seems to make the most sense, because if you start viewing and treating them like a friend before that's apparent or clear in the relationship, definitely can get on people's awkward or weird side really quick for moving too fast. So
I concur.
kind of how I'm feeling.
Agreed.
Okay. All right, let's
Lock
lock
it
it in. It's doing it. It's getting there. The music has told
The
us
music
that
is a
it's correct.
clue.
I cued the music ahead of the reveal. So that's my
I've
fault.
clicked the button. It's taken its time. So we're at
Yeah.
the last question here.
Yeah.
And there we go. It did it.
Yeah.
But we're
All
going
right,
to
cool.
see
Let's do this. We're almost rich.
Yeah, we're almost
Okay.
there.
Why does focusing exclusively on outcomes create a losing mindset? A, outcomes are always immediate. B, outcomes are the only thing that matter. C, effort is irrelevant to growth. Or D, you cannot fully control outcomes, so you set yourself up to fail.
Would you like to use a
Why does
50-50,
focusing
Kevin?
exclusively? Well, Yeah, I mean it's there, right?
Might as
I
well.
can't phone
Let's
a
use the
friend. You're my only
50-50 and
friend.
get rid of half of that. So there we go. So,
Kidding.
okay, so it's either B or D. And I do not agree with B. So I have to go D.
I do not either.
I concur.
I'm with you.
All right.
Lock it in.
Lock it in. It's thinking. It's still
Come on,
thinking.
baby.
It's revealing. The reveal is almost here. It's the final question. So here we go.
This is too funny. There we
There
go.
we go.
There it is.
All right.
$1.
We earned a whole $1. Congratulations.
Easiest dollar
man,
I've
that's,
ever
not
earned.
bad.
Yeah. 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 Those questions.
What is this
I
good
feel like,
stuff, though? I had a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah. For having read the book and talking to the author, those questions really just were a breeze. So that felt good. I feel like I'm not sweating too hard, thinking too hard.
I like it.
Yeah. That worked out pretty well. Sometimes with the technology, the things don't always work out the way they would hope. But tonight it wasn't so bad, and we really appreciate you coming on the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here, we're going to go ahead and play off here in the Do an After Show, for which you are very welcome to hang out with us, Jeff. In fact, we hope you do. And then we just want to say thanks for everybody for showing up and joining us tonight. Again, with us tonight is best-selling author Jeff Callahan of Confidence Maxing. You can get your copy on Amazon today. We'll be back next week, Sunday night at 6 o'clock. We hope you'll join us then. Until that time, thanks for hanging out with us.
Thank you so much. Thanks for being on the show, Jeff.
Absolutely.
Oh, cracking a new one, Kevin, huh? What you cracking open?
Not a beer,
Uh,
root beer.
great. That was great. That was good stuff. I feel like we barely scratched the surface.
There's
Oh,
a
I
lot
know.
there.
We needed like a 6-hour show, but that's a different kind of.
6 hour show. Are you kidding?
The best I can do is a 6-hour audiobook.
Yeah.
I think it's
That's
almost exactly
pretty good.
6 hours.
Yeah. Yeah. That is, yeah, I think it's like 550 something, or I had it just pulled up right before the show, but yeah, it's basically 6 hours. And did you have much control, if you don't mind me asking,
Yeah.
over the voice author?
Yeah. I how it works is you have you go on ACX, which is it's kind of an Audible portal, if you will, and you say what your project is, and you take auditions. And I think after posting my project, I got probably 40 or 50 auditions, and I had one voice, and I was like, man, this is really good. I'm gonna go with him probably. I slept on it because I tend to, just take a little extra time with, it's kind of a big decision. And then I got an amazing audition from Lyle Blaker, who is the narrator. And like I knew immediately, I was like, okay, he's the one. I messaged him immediately, like, you are absolutely the guy for this. And I would like to tell you I planned this, but I did not, where you submit a chapter for them to do the audition for. And I submitted the storytelling chapter, which it was the perfect chapter to do auditions for. I didn't realize that. I would like to tell you that's technique and I'm smart like that, but I'm not. But yeah, he delivered like the story perfectly, and I was just like, yeah, this is absolutely the guy.
Oh,
Nice. That's cool. I know Well, I don't know a bunch of authors, but I have been recently really enjoying audiobooks. And it's been on my mind before of like, how do they choose, or does the author get any say? So it sounds like you did have a very
Yeah.
big say in who that was. So.
You get a lot of say, and at least Lyle was great in that he would submit chapters to me. I would listen to them, and then I would tell him if I needed him to do any pickups, which are like he may not have. I mean, I think throughout the entire book, I only had like 2 or 3 pickups for him to do, which is not many. Where it might be like he didn't say something quite right, or I wanted him to announce a word a little bit more clearly, something like that. But he's such a pro, because that's what he does full time. And after it's all done, then they stitch it all together, and I guess Lyle runs it through a program, and he edits it for Audible specific audio guidelines, which they're actually pretty specific with. It has to be within a certain loudness range, and there can't be silences of more than 4 seconds. And there's all this really particular stuff for Audible specifically. And so he took care of all that stuff too. And it's just like, man, this is a good deal, because I didn't have to hire all these things separately, which I was kind of planning on narrating it myself and hiring an editor and all that kind of stuff. And it's nice to get someone with experience just to take care of all of it, like a one-stop shop.
That's cool. I feel like people getting the tone when it's not their vision. The book isn't coming from their brain, so nailing the tone on what they're reading, I feel like would be, it totally seems like a talent, and like really hard to nail, because sometimes I'm a little sarcastic in my head, and I could probably inject more sarcasm if I was the one narrating. So that'd be a hard thing to do.
Yeah, and I think for the people that do it a lot, I think they develop a really good sense of, even, I'm trying to think of an example. I can't really think of a specific, but there are going to be instances where you listen and he even like does like a little chuckle or like a little laugh, and it's like, I don't know that I would have thought to do that. I generally like it when authors read their own work, but I was just looking at kind of everything that I had to do, and I was like, well, no, I'm not going to be doing that. I'm gonna hire that out. And so I think the upshot is, I think Lyle's contribution made the book even better than I would have been able to do recording it myself, even though I'm the author.
That's really cool.
Yeah,
Thanks
sometimes there's just somebody, people that can capture the inflections and the styles and everything like that, the way that you hear it, which is maybe not the way that you hear in your head when you're writing it. You may be writing it in a certain way that where the way that you're hearing it in your head isn't exactly the way that you would have said it, but that other person can somehow capture and I don't know if that's the way it worked for you, but it sounds like it might have been.
Yeah, it's been an interesting process. There's I kind of joke throughout the entire process. It's kind of like steering, what I would imagine steering an aircraft carrier is like, where it's just a really big project with probably 100 moving parts, and sequencing all those things that have to be done and all that kind of stuff is not the easiest thing in the world. But I think I made it about as easy on myself as you possibly could. The thing is, it's just a lot easier to write something that you've been teaching for a long time. I've probably got some more books in me. I've got about 2 or 3 that I can see myself writing, and I know those would be different animals that would require quite a bit more research and all that kind of thing. So it's if only all the books were as easy to write as something that you know really well.
Oh, sorry, Kevin.
No, please go ahead.
Have you already thought about doing like a revised version of the confidence maxing because like of the roller coaster piece and anything else you've thought of afterwards, or would that just be a different book?
Yeah, maybe in the future I might revisit and do an expanded edition potentially, but the next book that's noodling around in my mind, and this wouldn't be an announcement, this is just something I'm thinking about, is when I wrote the introduction, be a rebel and talk to people, and in the World and Human Connection, I think that there's potentially a whole book there, where I could go into each of the facets of the World and Human Connection. And the thing that I think needs to happen that I don't really have a good handle on for my tastes is you can't write a book about problems. You can write a book about problems plus solution, where confidence maxing is the personal solution. There needs to be like a sort of a community level solution to the World and Human Connection, not like a government societal solution, but just a community level solution. And so until I get a good handle on that piece of it, then that'll be my signal to move forward with a second book.
That sounds really cool.
And then like the third book, and I haven't said this publicly at all, so this is another exclusive. You know, if you haven't written the second book, then like the third book is a long ways off. But there's something I think about where I've talked about this in my live show a couple of times, where civilizations need confidence as well. Think about, and this, I first started thinking about this when the Artemis 2 mission happened. And there was an article from The Verge, I covered this on my live show, where some writer was like, I don't know if we can really go to the moon for harvesting materials from the moon. And it was just like the crab in a bucket. I call them crab in a bucket Americans, that it's really easy to just kind of nip at the heels of people and drag them down into the bucket. And no society is going to be exceptional if that mentality is running people. It's just not going to be. Like, imagine if JFK had gotten up, you know, and it's like, we were going to go to the moon, but then we realized it was going to be really difficult, and maybe you can't go to the moon because there's this thing that might mean we can't mine the moon or whatever. And it's just like, no, you do things. Like, you become confident through doing things, and societies become confident by looking at what's possible. Like, think about the first time you saw Elon Musk land a rocket and you're just like, okay, that's pretty cool. Like, we need much, much more of that.
Oh man, yeah.
You know, so that would be the third book, would be like civilizational confidence. And then you've got all three. You've got civilizational.
And how many times did he have to crash that thing before you finally could land it too, you know?
Yeah.
And those rockets blew up like crazy for a long time, and now it's just like, yeah, you know, just.
And now he's the world's first trillionaire.
Not even a problem.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Kevin, did I step on your toes earlier? Did you have something?
Did I don't really know, man. Just playing everything by ear. Managed to get 7 whole shares of, or is it 9? Anyway, we got some shares of SpaceX.
You bought some SpaceX? Cool.
Not a lot.
Cool. Yeah, I bought some
SpaceX,
too.
yeah.
And I'll probably, this is not investment advice, but I'll probably buy more. But I just, it was spur of the moment where I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I do want to buy this, and I want to buy it on IPO day if I can. It'll be interesting to see what happens next week. If it might go down a little bit, but you know, you just don't know. Like, it was pretty stable throughout the day. It was really stable. And so I don't know if there's going to be much movement up or down on Monday. It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah. I don't have any, because I'm definitely not someone to ask for financial advice, but I do kind of wonder now, because I'm hearing that a peace deal has been announced for Iran. So if that actually is the thing, that could actually drive markets upward. We'll see. Yeah,
just the market in general. I think it'll be really
in general. Yeah.
If Elon can, and you know, I'm not going to pretend I know.
We got SJV.
A ton about it. Hey, SJV, he's a good guy. It'll be interesting to see if Elon can crack data centers in space, because like that will be huge.
That would be crazy.
Because no one wants a data center near them, but we know we'll have to have them. Like, it's one of those things that's it's gonna be non-negotiable in my opinion. So if he can crack
Trying
data
to add
centers
you
in
in,
space, it's gonna be real interesting.
Yeah, I feel like power generation will be big, and data centers will be big. So I haven't heard many people talk about any sort of solution for the power requirements that are going to keep growing. But I'm interested to know and see what happens with that, because that's going to be a big deal. And costs, yeah, we have to find a way to generate, I think, more power, right? So there seems to be a lot of good ways to do that. It's just what's going to be invested in, what's going to become a big thing. We'll see. I'm interested in that topic for sure.
What's up,
Yo.
SJV?
Hey, SJV.
Hey, folks, Persuasion Club, long time no see. I'm kind of
Good to see you again.
Good evening.
The first time SJV joined us, we thought God had showed up on our screen, just this dark picture with just this guy in a beard and everything, and we're just like, hey, it's God.
Well,
Good to see
that
you.
was, believe it or not, that was my world television premiere. And Jeff, you talked to Marcella. She's the one that tricked me into it. So,
Okay.
but back then, I
She-
did not want to talk publicly, and things have kind of changed since then.
You got a whole setup now.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
Well,
rival us, man. You're way better than us, actually.
Well, I only go to excess, not one bit further, so. But I just wanted to come on and thank Jeff. You really fit in real good with the school, so I really appreciate what you're doing there.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I think I talked to you somewhere before. I don't know, maybe on the after party or something.
Probably on a space with Doc Hypnosis, maybe.
Yeah, that's probably it. But I can't remember who I've talked to and who I haven't. But yeah, you're a good guy, and I really appreciate what you're doing. And I appreciate Persuasion Club too. Man, they shared my show the other day, and I was like, dang it. Now I got to do the reciprocity thing and give them some
Ooh, got
attention.
stuck with reciprocity. That's
Yeah. But I really appreciate y'all guys, so because I think y'all kind of helped me, I don't know, get out of the background. But I'd always thought that people listen to me or wanted to contact me just because I'm like a backdoor in Owen or something like that. I'm not into that, so I used to avoid talking publicly. So I've changed.
I actually think you do a great job on spaces. I was on one of Owen's spaces yesterday, and there was a pretty heated discussion going on, and one guy got pretty damn upset. And I think that you pretty much said, hey, like when Owen's speaking, you all shut up, you know?
Well, that was an example of me saying something that I think Owen wanted to say, but he didn't. That episode, I was busy with something else, so I was only half following what was going on. If I'd been keeping attention on the whole show, I probably would have shut that down before Owen did, just because I'm supposed to be the bad guy. But I was actually outside getting my new cell phone when that guy started talking, and I didn't know who he was, and I was like, I can't really do anything. I mean, that's one of the rules of being a good co-host is don't do any harm, right? And so since I didn't know where he came from, he could have been somebody a guest Owen invited or something, so I couldn't just boot him. But no, I think I liked those words I said, because I think it's something Owen would have wanted to say, but Owen's a nice guy, and I'm not, so there we go.
It sounds like you're a good moderator. Sounds like that's something that a good moderator would do is, hey, you're kind of bringing down the vibe, and you need to either be quiet or change what you're doing. But yeah, that sounds like a good moderator move.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a good bouncer, actually.
Yeah.
Well, see, the after party to me comes before anything else because Jeff, you may not have even heard this, but Scott Adams on the after party reviewed us, and he was like, "This is great," and really what he meant was Owen, it wasn't me in the background. But I'm very proud of the after party and very protective of it. So
Yeah.
but y'all saw a unique episode Saturday, but it was actually good too. Because I was permanently banned for nearly 2 months, right? Did y'all hear about that?
yeah. I was like, where the hell did he go? He's gone. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
What
when
happened?
I got back and started co-hosting for Owen again, some people in the comments, someone was giving Owen crap in the show, and they were like, "SJV, go save him!" And I was like, Owen can take care of himself. Owen's a pretty mature guy. Well, that show yesterday, Saturday, was a perfect example. I loved it. I think I've muted the entire channel before numerous times, but I think that's the first time Owen's ever done it, and it just tickled
Wow.
the crap out of me. So
Jeff, I had a question
If you
before
ever-
eventually I might have to
Oh,
run
go ahead.
here soon, but I was going to ask Jeff, outside of writing and doing the confidence maxing, I'm sure you get asked a lot of questions because you're now a best-selling author, but what kind of hobby do you have that kind of helps you disconnect from that kind of stuff?
Yeah, that's a good question. So lately I've been getting into doing some very light homesteading and gardening in the back.
Oh, wow.
And I've got some chickens, and so I tend to my chickens. And right now I'm growing some squash and zucchini and arugula and some other things. And so we got a little bit of land out here where outside of the city, and it's not like if your day job is computer anything, you got to have something that's outside of that. And so that's what's been keeping me busy lately.
I was just looking
That's
at
awesome.
Wilco yesterday for some ducks. I'm looking for some like non-flying ducks, and apparently there's some breeds that don't fly, because I'm thinking like that would be really cool to have ducks for whatever reason. And also living in Oregon, like our main mascot is like, ducks
Yeah.
and beavers. So, but
And-
you can't own a beaver legally. So
Ducks look really cool.
Oh,
I
in
think
Oregon?
yeah,
yeah.
all right. But
Sorry,
yeah,
I didn't mean to interrupt you guys.
But I would love to. Half of me would love to get ducks, and because I think they're really cute. But the other half knows that like ducks only live 2 years, and it's like,
oh,
yeah,
what? I didn't know that.
yeah. They don't. I mean, chickens
Oh.
5 to 7 maybe. But
Huh.
ducks are. I think it's like 2 years. It probably varies by breed. And so, I mean, I've buried a couple chickens. We've lost some to just illness or weird things. And they're, at the end of the day, they're animals. They're outside, but you kind of develop a little bit of an attachment to them because you go out and you feed them snacks and you let them run around and stuff like that. So it's hard to not get attached to whatever's in the yard.
Yeah, totally.
And so ducks like high on the cuteness scale, but you just got to prepare yourself.
Thank you. I didn't know that. I haven't gotten to that point in my research, but yeah, it sounds like a shorter term commitment.
Yeah.
for buying ducks. Interesting.
But man, super cute, and I think if you got them like a little pool and they could like run around in the pool and stuff like that, like it would be awesome actually.
Yeah, my city requires like you have to have something they can completely submerge themselves in, a water source, and an inside kind of thing and an outside kind of thing. So you have to. There's a few things to consider, but anyway.
And
That's good stuff.
the last thing I'll say on it is I have had duck eggs and they taste pretty close to chicken eggs. Pretty close. I don't know if I had to tell you what the difference was. I don't know that I could. And so scrambled duck heads.
Kind of like
Yeah,
rabbit and
yeah.
chicken. It's like they're very close, but
Yeah, I did go through a phase in life where I lived with some guys from a farming community that were going to college. We were roommates, and we started raising rabbits for food purposes,
Hmm.
and that was kind of heart wrenching. At
Yeah.
when you process them, it's
Yep.
really sad. So you do get attached, even if you try not to.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where like I have a buddy's dad raised meat rabbits, and yeah, like I like the rabbits that we see on our walks, down the street, and like they're turtles, and like I think I'm one of those people that if I could, I would just adopt all of them, but I have to like hold
Yeah,
hold myself, and I'm like, you know what, we can't just pick up everything. We
yeah,
wouldn't have any room for anything. But I totally get it.
yeah, yeah. They're cute. So it's tough to have cute food. So, but thanks for
right.
sharing. That's good
Yeah.
stuff.
I have a little bit of a story to tell about that because when I first moved to Oregon from Southern California, my grandparents lived on 12 acres in Cheshire, Oregon, kind of near Eugene. Anyway, they had cows, and I love those cows and everything. And one day I noticed that one of the cows was gone.
Yep.
And we're sitting down to a steak dinner, and it was like, "Hey, Grandpa, where's that cow?"
Well,
And he's just like, "Shut."
About that.
it is now inside you because you've been eating this cow.
It's like,
Yeah.
okay.
We have a cattle ranch that's near us, and you'll drive by sometimes, and they'll be near the road, and you look at them like, oh man, these cows are awesome. I'm like, I know I couldn't have cows because I would just be like, okay, they're huge pets that take up a whole lot of feed. It's like also like steak, and I also like all the things that cows turn into.
Yep. Yeah, it's tough, the balance of wanting pets and needing food. Yeah, it can be sad.
Like have a cat, have a dog. They're your inside pets. Lavish them with love and toys and all the stuff. And then everything that's on the outside, it's like, well, you're here while you're here. That's at least what I try to think, even though I'm not all that successful at it.
I've got a lot of animals here, but because I've got Bobo the pit bull, every night he goes out and clears all the animals out of the woods. That's his thing. So I don't get to see him much anymore, but I've got tons. I mean, I've seen Bobo chased a wild hog one day.
Well, that's a good thing.
And I've like walked in. I don't know why anybody would live in the city. I love living in the country. So
Same here. Like I lived in the city for forever, and once we moved out to the country, we're like, oh well, here's the thing, I'm never going back because
Yeah.
it's awesome out here.
Yeah. I used to live in a kind of a more farming community, and now I've gone back recently because I don't live near there anymore. But I have been back, and it's all townhomes. Everybody's bought farmland and has developed a bunch of it. So if I ever do move out to the country again or live out there, I'm gonna have to move further away so that the development doesn't get there too quickly, because I feel like that's a problem.
Yep, and it's so hard to predict the future. You don't know, like that area you might get swallowed up and technically be in the city that you moved out of. It's like,
Yeah,
okay, we
exactly.
got you. You're back, and it's like I didn't want to be back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Extra.
that's why I want to buy
Well,
up some more land around me. I don't mind people just as long as I don't see them. I've only got dozens of acres right now. I would like to get more just so. I mean, I've had people offer me more for the trees on my land. I paid for the land. And I'm like, no, there's a reason I got this place. I love the trees and I live in the trees. It's a great peace of mind.
sounds like you have good value too. So it's nothing. It's probably smart to hold on to that. I do. I don't want to be a party killer, but I do got to run.
Yeah, same here. But I
Yeah.
appreciate you guys having me on. It was a lot of fun.
Well, it's yeah. I'm look clock here.
Oh, Kevin, I'm hearing some glitching out. Are you?
He's getting swallowed into the
yeah.
Matrix.
Either SJ. You're going.
I got to run, and I think Jeff said he has to run
Yep.
too.
Nice seeing you again, Steve.
Yeah.
I
Stephen.
guess we'll have to go tonight. Work.
Good to see you, SJV. And Jeff, thank you so much.
Yeah,
It was
absolutely.
so nice talking with you. I appreciate it.
See you guys. Take care.
Seeing you, Jeff.
Have a good night.
Thanks, everybody. Talk to you later.
Thank you, guys. I'll
Y'all
talk to you later.
take it easy, and thanks for your support. I really appreciated it.
Good to see you, SJV.
Nice seeing y'all too.
Oh, absolutely.
See you guys.